everybody, welcome to another video, and this time it is my third deck from my third deck from the pre-release, which makes it my final one because pre-release is over sadly, and the third was the last one at my LGS. This one I actually made on my own, but had someone look over it to make sure. The first card is Doom Beetle, which costs Swamp and 1, and it's a 1/4, essentially a wall that can attack. This deck I actually made myself, had them look over, and they said remove these 3 cards that I was thinking about removing anyway, so, you know, I think I did alright. Next card is Apocalypse Demon. It costs 2 swamps and 4. It has flying, and its power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your graveyard. At the beginning of your upkeep, tap Apocalypse Demon unless if you sacrifice another creature. Soul Stinger is our next card. It costs swamp and 3. When it enters the battlefield, put 2 -1/-1 counters on target creature you control. When it dies, you may put a -1/-1 counter on target creature for each -1/-1 counter on Soul Stinger. It starts as a 4/5. Our next card is Merciless Eternal. It costs swamp and 2. It has a flick 2, which means if it's blocked, defending player loses 2 life. For swamp and 2 and discarding a card, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and it starts as a 2/2. Lurching Rot Beast, which I had 2 of in this deck, costs swamp and 3, and it has cycling of a swamp, and it's a 4/2. I'd like to state, usually I played this card instead of cycling it. Good or bad, it's what I did. It worked out for me. Next card is a Camel. It's Wretched Camel. It costs swamp and 1, and when it dies, if you control a desert or there is a desert card in your graveyard, target player discards a card, and it's a 2/1, which I had it in here mainly because it's a zombie. I have no deserts in this deck, obviously. Next card is Marauding Bone Slasher. It costs swamp and 2, and it can't block unless you control another zombie, and it's a 3/3. This deck has a few zombies, to say the least, so, because it has 2 of those camels, 2 of those rot beasts, you know. Next card is Cartouche of Ambition, and I love this cartouche. It costs swamp and 2. Enchant creature you control, and when it enters the battlefield, the cartouche, you may put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has lifelink. Next card is Vizier of Many Faces. It costs 2 islands and 2, and I pretty much never got to play it. When it enters the battlefield, you can make it a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except if it was embalmed. The token has no mana cost. It's white, and it's a zombie in addition to its other types. It has embalm of 2 island and 3, and I did not get to read its power and toughness. Sorry. Champion of Wits costs island and 2, and when it enters the battlefield, you may draw cards equal to its power. If you do, discard 2 cards. You can internalize it for 2 islands and 5. It becomes a 4/4 black zombie Naga wizard with no mana cost. And I missed the power and toughness again, I'm sorry. I should have made longer time, but I didn't. Slitherblade. It costs an island, it can't be blocked, and it's a 1/2. At least I got that one in time. I'm so sorry. I'm not recording this again, because I already messed up on the first one, so. Unsummon. It costs an island, and guess what it does? It unsummons. Return target creature to its owner's hand. It does exactly what it says in the name. Gale Strike. Cost island and 2. Return target tapped creature to its owner's hand and draw a card. I used that once, but it was just for the lulz, really, because it didn't really help or hurt anyone. Except for if she played it again next turn, it wouldn't be able to tap. Next card is Aerial Guide, which I had 2 of. It costs island and 2. It has flying, and when it attacks, another target attacking creature gains flying until end of turn, and it is a 2/2. I am sorry about missing the power and toughness of those 2 creatures. So much text on it. Next card is Shimmer Scale Drake. There was 2 of them in my deck. It costs island and 4. It has flying and cycling of 2, and is a 3/4. Most of the time I did not cycle it, but there's sometimes I had them at the very beginning of the game, and I had to let one go, at least. Next card is Eternal of Harsh Truths. It costs island and 2. It has a flick 2. And whenever it attacks and isn't blocked, draw a card, and it's a 1/3, which I did get to draw cards, because 1 damage over 2, heck yeah. And you still have to do 3 damage to kill it. Next card is Manalith. It costs 3, and you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. I did not pull a single Manalith until this pre-release. The third one, I finally pulled one. I don't know why until then. I mean, it's a common. You'd think I might pull one before then. Next card is Claim to Fame. Claim costs swamp. Return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to your battlefield. Help me with Slitherblade. Fame costs mountain and 1, and target creature gets +2 attack and gains haste until end of turn. I never got to use Fame, really. I don't think I got to use it at all. Next is Scarab God. It costs swamp, island, and 3. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life, and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. For swamp, blue, and 2, you exile a creature card from your graveyard, create a token, except for it's a 4/4 black zombie. And I missed the rest. I am so sorry. I will look that one up, actually, so. Oh, yeah, I know what it says. Sorry. If it would die, guess what? It returns to your hand instead at the beginning of the end step. And it's a 5/5, obviously. I'm so sorry I didn't miss time these, because there's just a few cards that are really long. But otherwise, I'd be rambling for like so long in between the other cards, you know, like Doom Beetle. But anyway, this is the deck I was mainly thinking of expanding into a standard deck. What do y'all think of that? Because I could easily add more zombies. I would want more blighted bats if possible, because if I play them later game, I can give them haste and they have flying. So, like I said, what do you think of my deck? This time, it was me. I just had them look over it a little just to make sure, because I just assumed I was making horrible decisions because I did the other 2 times. Let's continue. Or maybe it was because third time's the charm that it didn't go so horribly. Anyway, that's my deck. I hope you like this video, minus my supreme mess-ups and timing. I hope you're having a nice day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.